फर्स्ट भरण्यासारखी पोरं येतं सर. फर्स्ट इयर थोडंच टीचर्स कोण रेश्मा होती आणि अजून DNG सर होते. मी तुम्हाला डिटेलमध्ये सांगतो ना. I request all the students to please maintain the decorum. All this to सरळ सर त्याच्यानंतर मग अंकलीकर सर.
सरांनी काय सांगितलं
हां
हे बरोबर आहे ना.
हॅलो हॅलो हां सर हे सगळ्यानंतर
तिथे
हे सगळे झाल्यानंतर
चीफ गेस्टचं प्रेझेंटेशन झालं ना.
हां
हे ओपन लावणं की हे का दिसत नाही आहे काय यार
सर तो चेंज करतोय. ठीक आहे या
तू अनविल केव्हा करणार आहे ते मला दाखव.
हे सगळं फेलिसिटेशन.
सगळं म्हणजे काय?
Hello, hello. I request everyone to put their phones on silent. I request everyone to please put their phones on silent. Have hello. All the students are required to silence their phones and electronic devices. Science is the best human beings have ever come up with. And if it isn't, science will fix it. On that, scientist present over here. I am Vineet Mankar, General Secretary of Sardar Patel College of Engineering. This event. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to the Sardar Patel of Industry 4.0, Nascent Technologies and Sustainability for making Patel College of Engineering, Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, Council for Technical Education, American Publishing. The institution continues. Leaders and Administrators Foundation, Industrial Engineering SPC Student Chapter, SERB, AICTE, SCIR, Turnitin, and Apex subscription. Let's get started on an auspicious note by presenting you Sati Vandana, paying a sincere tribute to Goddess Saraswati.
या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर.
So now, gracing this, we'll go with the lighting of the lamp, showcasing the endless source of brightness and knowledge stored upon us. I request our esteemed please. थांबा नंतर करतो मी. कुठे माहिती आहे? There is not a mic over there. Hello. Give them a big round of applause, please. Thank you so much, all the dignitaries. I request them to have their seats. Thank you so much, dignitaries. Mahatma Gandhi has said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. So in honor of that, and to the changing pillar of all of us, that is Dr. K.M. Munshi ji, a prolific founder of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, so I would like to say a few words for them. Kanhaiyalal Manaklal Munshi, also popularly known for his pen name, which is Ghanshyam Vyas. K.M. Munshi was a prolific writer and has written many pieces, mostly revolving around the Indian independence movement, Gandhian ideology, and Indian culture with its mythology. K.M. Munshi was born on 30th December 1887 in Bharuch in Gujarat. He completed his schooling in Khan Bahadur Dalal School, after which he pursued his college education in Baroda College. He was particularly drawn towards the view of Sri Aurobindo Ghosh, who was his teacher in the Baroda College. In the year of 1907, he arrived at Bombay to practice law after topping in the examinations of LLB and BA. After completing his studies, Munshi drove into the social reform and activism, especially in the areas of caste discrimination and women's rights. Munshi founded the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavans in 1938 with the aim to preserve Indian culture, education, and the art and preserving it from the secular perspective. In 1954, he started a monthly journal called Bhargav in Gujarati and also started a journal of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, which is still running today. Dr. Munshi died in 8th Feb 1971 at the age of 83 in Bombay, India. Today's Munshi ji fear that cultural decadence and breakdown of the valuable systems have indeed come true. But Bhavans and the movement is striving to wave off all those attacks and odds and carrying their message and their mission forward. Similarly, other name that comes to all of us brain is the Iron Man of India, Sardar Patel. Sardar Patel once said, manpower without unity is not strength. Unless it is harmonized and united properly, then it becomes a spiritual power. There are two ways of building character. First is to cultivate and challenge the oppression. And second is to tolerate the resistance and hardships, which leads to courage and awareness. Vallabhbhai Jawaharlal Patel, also known as the Iron Man of India, did a remarkable job in the integration of this country by unifying 562 princely states and making an independent country called India. During his early year of politics, he followed the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi. He played a very vital role in the Quit India movement. Modern Indian history is incomplete without Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, his works, his principles, and definitely without his independent India. He was a selfless leader who played a very important role in the country's interest above everything else and shaped India's destiny with a single-minded devotion. So we can definitely say that, we can safely conclude, in fact, that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's contribution towards integration of India, his vision of newly born state was unmatched, and none of the contemporaries could live up to those requirements of the time better than he did. So on this powerful note, let's begin with the felicitation ceremony. So I request Advocate Asif Mullah, member BOG, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, to kindly felicitate our today's chief guest, Dr. Sharad Saraf, Chairman BOG IIT Bombay. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Dr. Mohan Murali, sir, please come forward, the principal of Sardar Patel College of Engineering, to kindly felicitate our guest of honor and keynote speaker, Dr. Arvind Anklikar, EVP LTI Mindtree, Mumbai. Please give them a round of applause. And just to add to it, he's our esteemed alumni. He's just one of the students who was right sitting over there. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. B.N. Chaudhary, Principal, Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, to kindly felicitate our special guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, Vice President, Capgemini, Mumbai. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, dignitaries. Now I request Dr. Santosh Rane, the conference chair, faculty advisor, IEEE, SPC student chapter, and former dean academics, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, to kindly felicitate Advocate Asif Mullah, member BOG, Sardar Patel College of Engineering. Thank you so much, dignitaries. I request Dr. Kiran Bole, Dean R&D, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, to kindly felicitate Dr. M.M. Murdi, Principal, Sardar Patel College of Engineering. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Kiran Talele, Academic Head, Sardar Patel Technology Business Incubator, SPT, Dean, Students Affair Dean as well, adding to his attributes, to kindly felicitate Dr. B.N. Chaudhary, sir, Principal, Sardar Patel Institute of Technology. Thank you so much, sir. Moving on, I'd like to request Dr. Kiran Bole, Dean R&D, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, to kindly felicitate Dr. Santosh Rane, Faculty Advisor, IIIE, SPC Student Chapter, and former Dean Academics, Sardar Patel College of Engineering. Please. Amongst all this clapping and appreciation, moving ahead, I request Advocate Asif Mullah, to please come forward to the podium and address and welcome the dignitaries as well as the audience with his wise words.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm symbolically representing the management of Sardar Patel College of Engineering as well as Bharati Vidya Bhavan. And I've been associated with this institution for a very, very long time. And it gives me a great pleasure to welcome Dr. Sardar Saraf as a chief guest for this Nascent Technology and its Sustainability Icon organized seminar. I welcome Dr. Sardar Saraf for this occasion. Kindly welcome him. I also welcome Dr. Arvind, who is a part and parcel of us for a long time and will remain so. He is a guest of honor. He is from L&T Mindtree. Kindly welcome him, please, Doctor. I welcome Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, Vice President, Capgemini, and I hope their association will continue with the SPCE and their contribution would enhance the knowledge and what we call the sustainability in future. Welcome, Mr. Sanjeev Gupta. I welcome our very own Dr. B.N. Chaudhary, Principal of SPIT, who is, from the time he has joined here, he has brought a new flavor to the outlook of not only SPIT, but to the campus as a whole. Please welcome Dr. B.N. Chaudhary. The initiator, the driver, Dr. S.B. Rane, who is chairing the SP Icon. I welcome him, kindly welcome him, please. I welcome all the delegates from Blue Star, Capgemini, and all participants of SP Icon, faculty and staff of the SPC and SPIT, students, and everybody. Thank you very much. Let us begin with the task. Thank you.
So now I would like to hand it over to the conference chair, Dr. Santosh Rane, faculty advisor, IIIE SPC student chapter, former dean academics, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, and the principal coordinator of this whole conference. He would like to introduce the speaker on 2022 to all of you. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to one and all. I am honored to welcome you all for the Sardar Patel College of Engineering and Sardar Patel International Conference. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Chief Guest, Dr. Sardar Saraf, Chairman, BOG, IIT Bombay, our guest of honor, Dr. Arvind Anklikar, Executive Vice President of Larsen & Toubro Infotech Division and Mindtree. Our special guest, Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, Senior Vice President from Capgemini, faculty members of SPC, SPIT, supporting staff, conference delegates, student working committee, all my colleagues and dear friends. I'm honored to welcome you all for this Sardar Patel International Conference on Industry 4.0, Nascent Technologies and Sustainability, for Make in India initiative, that is SpeakOn 2022, which is scheduled for 22nd and 23rd of December 2022. SpeakOn 2022 is sponsored by Science Engineering Research Board, AICT, Council of Scientific Industrial Research, Indian Institution of Industrial Engineering Mumbai chapter, and Turnitin Software Apex subscriptions. I'm happy to note that the papers will be submitted to IEEE and American Institute of Physics for Scopus Index proceedings, publications. So we have the collaborations with Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, Capgemini, SA India Western Section, Institution of Engineers, Federation of Education Leaders and Administrators. With the help of these big brands, we are able to fetch 333 publications, 333 research paper submissions 2 months ago, and we have officially closed the submission link. Out of 333 submissions, we have accepted 217 publications, and out of 217 publications, 152 publications have been officially registered for the conference. The aim of this conference is along the 3 important dimensions. One is absorbing the Industry 4.0 technologies in manufacturing as well as service sector, then practicing the sustainability with the help of Industry 4.0 technologies, and making this Make in India initiative of Government of India successful with the help of technologies. Industry 4.0 technology basket has number of different technologies, which includes IoT, IIoT, IOP, iOS, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality, simulations, robotic process automations, and many more. And these technologies are going to change, redefine the human life. And nobody can escape from that. And already it has penetrated the market very well, and all of us will be enjoying the benefits of these technologies. These technologies will give the new experience to all the users. So this particular conference will revolve around these 3 important dimensions. And we are happy to note that we have received the submissions from United States of America, Malaysia, Oman, Korea, and many premier institutions of India. We are thankful to management of SPC, all organizing committee members, external session chairs, internal session chairs, session executives, student working committee, supporting staff, all the delegates, all the researchers who had shown the faith in us in organizing this conference. And we, as a team whole, are working meticulously to make this entire conference successful. Thanks. I hope this conference will be a grand success with the help of all. Thank you.
So finally, to the moment that we were all looking forward to, inauguration of the SpeakOn 2022. So marking that occasion, we would be unveiling the proceedings, which includes everything right from the session chairs to the schedule, everything of the SpeakOn 2022. All the dignitaries you have in front of you a piece of proceedings. Please, can you unveil it and unwrap it? Please give them a big round of applause. I request all the dignitaries to please stand along with the audience. Please give them a big round of applause. I request all the audience to sit. It was an error on my part. I'm sorry. I request all the audience to sit. It was an error on my part. Thank you so much, all the dignitaries. No institution is complete without its strong leaders. On that note, I would like to call upon Dr. B.N. Chaudhary, Principal, Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, to please address the audience with his valuable insights.
Good morning, all. In Sanskrit, there is a subhashit, Khadyato dyotyate tavat yavat na udiyate shashi. Udiyate tu sahasrangshu na khadyato chandrama. Meaning is that insight, light insight, kazwa, apan kazwa bhanto, has meaning till the moon arises in the sky. And the moon has meaning till the sun arises in the morning. Looking at today's speakers, our chief guest, our guest of honor, a galaxy of stars on the dais, I will prefer not to speak. I wish this conference to be a grand success. Thank you, participant, for participating in this event, and thank you, students, for making your presence, coming to this inauguration center, inaugural function. I have only a message. India is going through very critical period. We are dreaming, our leaders are dreaming. We are an aspirant society. We want that transformation from a developing society to a developed nation. And only engineers community can do it profoundly. If you track the history of mankind, only those societies have reached the top who have innovative minds, who have industrious minds. And that is our duty, that is duty of this generation. If at all we wish to fill our dreams, we will need technologies. We have to innovate, and if you track the recent last 4 or 5 centuries history, whichever country has progressed in engineering, that has conquered the world. Earlier it was Europe, then US, and now China is challenging, and I hope we will also challenge in decades to come. This conference is SPI Con. While sitting there, I was thinking, today engineers need to be sensible to the needs of the society. I should come out from me, and look at for my society. We should be sensible. We should be performer or perfectionist. We should we should be never satisfied what we are. Continuously try to upgrade. So I take from SPI Con, P for performer, I for innovative. Be innovative on the every walk of your life. be curious, be collaborative. Be observer what is happening around, what's happening in Europe, what's happening in US, what's happening in East, what's happening in China. We can't just shut the doors and progress. We have to be observer, and we should learn to navigate in this disruptive world. So for me, the message is speak on, right? And be successful, and make this country great. Make us sustainable. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for that innovative abbreviation. It was genuinely a very innovative idea. You actually represent all the engineers. So moving on, I request Dr. M.M. Murdi, Principal, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, to kindly address the audience. Give him a round of applause, please.
More importantly, he is a chairman, board of governor of prestigious institute, IIT Bombay, as well as IIT Jammu and Kashmir. Guest of honor, Dr. Arvind Anklikar, who is vice president of L&T Infotech, now L&T Infotech and Mindtree. Special guest and keynote speaker, Sanjeev Gupta, who is vice president of Capgemini. Our honorable member, board of governors, Advocate Asif Mullah sir, principal SPIT Dr. B.N. Chaudhary sir, conference chair Dr. S.P. Rane, delegates of SpeakOn 2022, faculty and supporting staff from SPC and SPIT, and dear students. I welcome you all for the Sardar Patel International Conference on Industry 4, Nascent Technologies and Sustainability for Make in India initiative. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you Sardar Patel College of Engineering to fellow audience and delegates. Sardar Patel College of Engineering was founded under the management of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan by Kulpati Dr. K.M. Munshi. Dr. K.M. Munshi was a great visionary, anticipated that there would be great need of demand for engineers. He founded SPCE to meet the growing demand for engineering talent. 19th August 1962 was the golden day in the history of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. On this day, the college was inaugurated by the first Prime Minister of independent India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The college is dedicated to Sardar Patel, an eminent nation builder of independent India. The government-aided institute started with 3 UG programs in civil, electrical, and mechanical. In 1995, the unaided wing of SPC started with 3 UG programs in electronics, IT, and computer engineering. Due to administrative reasons, the unaided wing was separated into SPIT from 2005. This is how SPIT was born. Presently, Sardar Patel College of Engineering is one of the top 3 engineering institutes in the state, stands apart a symbol of quality in engineering education. It has evolved over the years into a citadel of engineering thought and learning. This has been possible because of the dedication of its competent faculty, committed students, its mission to influence the quality of engineering education in industry, and ability to bridge the gap between academic institution and challenging business world. At present, the institute offers 3 UG programs, civil, electrical, mechanical, 5 PG program, 2 in civil engineering, namely structural engineering, construction management, 2 in mechanical engineering, namely machine design, thermal engineering, and 1 in electrical engineering, that is power electronics and power system. And also, the institute offers 3 PhD programs, that is in civil, electrical, and mechanical engineering. SPC become autonomous since 2010-11. In the last decade, the growth of institute has been significantly enhanced by participation in TEQIP, that is Technical Education Quality Improvement Program, which is a Bank project. The institute has been competitively selected for TKIP2. Our institute is one among 190 institutes selected in India and one in 17 institutes selected in Maharashtra for TKIP2. The institute received a grant of rupees 12 crores under TKIP2. Institute has also been selected and participated in TKIP3 and received a grant of 7 crore rupees. Under TKIP3, the institute was mentor for Rewa College of Engineering in MP. Furthermore, SPC is also NAC accredited and has been applied for NBA for its fourth cycle of NBA accreditation and awaiting for NBA team visit. This year, SPC has completed 60th year of establishment. SpeakOn 2022 is a part of celebration of SPC's 60th year of establishment. Our 60th year celebration coincides with 75th years of independence, that is Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav. The aim of this conference is to provide an interdisciplinary platform for leading and young researchers, engineers, academicians, industrialists, and practitioners working in the domain of Industry 4.0, Nascent Technologies and Sustainability for Make in India initiative, and Atmanirbhar Bharat. The conference would enable participants to disseminate their innovations and contemporary research in the field of engineering. SpeakOn has received overwhelming response and generous sponsorship from Science and Engineering Research Board, SERB, All India Council for Technical Education, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, IIIE, Turnitin, Apex subscription. The conference is jointly organized in association with Sardar Patel Institute of Technology, Mumbai, Capgemini, SAE India Western Section, Institute of Engineers, FELA, and technical collaboration with American Institute of Physics and IEEE Bombay Section for publishing proceedings for the conference. I wish this conference will build a solid networking for all the researchers to take their research ahead in joint collaboration. I wish SpeakOn 2022 a grand success. Thank you.
So now moving to our honorable special guest, Mr. Sanjeev Gupta sir. Let me give a quick profile of his and introducing him. He pursued his BE in Power Electronics from Nagpur University and further went on to complete the Senior Management Program in Global Leadership from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. He was a part of iGate Computer Systems Limited, which was previously known as Patni Computer Systems Limited, for staggering 15 years and was lastly associated with them as being the Vice President of Product and Engineering Solutions. Currently, he is working as the Vice President in Digital Engineering and Manufacturing Services at Capgemini. He has a wide spectrum of skills which perfectly ranges from soft project management, pre-sales, to even software development life cycles. So I request you, sir, to please take the podium and address the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Dr. Saraf, Dr. Chaudhary, Dr. Murali, my industry colleague, Dr. Arvind, Dr. Santosh, and other dignitaries present in the audience here. I'm really honored and delighted to be part of this august company. The conference on Industry 4.0, Nascent Technologies and Sustainability for Make in India initiative is being organized at a very, very apt time. While on one hand, India wants to accelerate the pace of manufacturing through the Make in India initiative and transform India into a global design and manufacturing hub. On the other hand, just a month and a half back, I think it was November 14th, India submitted its long-term low-emission development strategy. It's known as LTLED, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or what we call as UNFCCC, during the COP27 event which happened in Egypt. Right? It does have a mention of India's industrial sector, with focus on improving the energy efficiency, enhancing the material efficiency, and recycling, leading to expansion of the circular economy, and that's where sustainability comes into picture. I'm so honored to be included in the list of speakers for the topic of Industry 4.0, so I'm glad to be here with all of you. Klaus Schwab, the former founder and executive chairman of World Economic Forum, he said, the fourth industrial revolution represents fundamental change in the way we live, we work, we interact, and we relate to one another. So it's a new chapter in human development, enabled by extraordinary technology advances, because there are rapid changes of technology happening every day. Similarly, on the topic of sustainability, I would like to quote John Kerry, the former US Secretary of State. He said, "We are the first generation to feel the impact of climate change, and probably would be the last generation that can do something about it." Right? So Dr. Santosh Rane and his team has done a tremendous job in inviting papers for submission on a wide range of technology and engineering subject, very interesting topics, right from electronics to mechatronics to information technology, AI, machine learning, green technologies even. I think that's very good. And I understand that more than, you mentioned 333 odd papers that have been submitted. It's a fantastic number. In fact, you had to stop registration of papers because numbers are growing. And that shows how much people want to be part of this initiative here. Conferences such as this provide a valuable opportunity for students, for academia, for research scientists, for industry specialists, and decision makers to basically share their experiences. I'm sure that in the next 2 days, most of you are going to be inspired, okay? You are going to be informed, you will learn, you will be motivated, and you will grow. I hope you have a series of aha moments in the next 2 days. I'm sure you'll have fruitful and rewarding exchanges in the next 2 days. Sir, I wish you every success with this important conference and look forward to learning about the outcome of this. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.
As sir said, there were so many registrations that we had to withdraw the registration form. So on that moment, we would like to felicitate Aarti Karande ma'am, who was the publicity chair of the conference. And she almost emailed 2 lakh emails for the publicity of this event. So I request Dr. Kiran Bole sir to please come forward and felicitate Aarti ma'am. Everyone, please give them a round of applause. Moving on to our next keynote speaker, Arvind Anklikar, sir. Describing his profile in a quick bit, he pursued his BE in mechanical engineering from National Institute of Technology, Surat, and then moved on to do his master's in business administration and management from the prestigious institute of Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, where he also is the visiting faculty for studies of BPR and project management and doctorate in mechanical engineering with specializing in digital technologies. He studied the Global Leadership Development Program from one and only one Stephen M. Ross School of Business in University of Michigan. He also is one of the members of the Board of Governors of SPC. Currently, he is the global head of Oracle practice of Larsen & Toubro Infotech Limited, where he is managing the Oracle ecosystem entirely that covers the on-premises applications. So, sir, handing over the podium to you, please address the audience.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. To begin with, respected Dr. Sharad Kumar Saraf, Advocate Asif Mullah, whom I meet quite regularly, Dr. B.N. Chaudhary, Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, Dr. Murudi, Dr. Rane. It's an absolute privilege to be here today. Let me be very honest. I am deeply touched by the invitation, the kind of hospitality shown by SPCE. In receiving me here, it's my privilege to speak on Industry 4.0. While I have a keynote speech, later on, just a single reflection of the theme of this whole, session that we have for the next 2 days. Industry 4.0 is no more nascent. It's here to stay. We have ourselves done hundreds of projects in Industry 4.0, and some of the use cases or the case studies will be covered by me during my keynote speech. I'll keep this particular address very, very short. Again, it's a privilege. Looking forward to interacting with some of you during the tea break, and absolutely honored to speak later on. I wish SPCE all the very best, and I hope that they continue to have such events again and again in the future as well. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
So finally, moving on to the chief guest of the whole conference inauguration, that is Dr. Sharad Saraf, sir. Talking about his profile, he, after following his IIT bachelor degree from Electrical Engineering Department in 1969, Dr. Saraf underwent a year's industrial training in Germany in 1970. In spite of professional involvements, Dr. Saraf was always involved in starting the IIT Bombay chapter for alumni and operated it for 7 years, right from 1981 to 1988, and is still associated with all the alumni activities. Dr. Sharad Saraf is the new chairman of IIT Bombay. He is appointed in August of this year. Dr. Saraf has been serving as the member of BOG of IIT Bombay from the past 4 years, and now is appointed as the chairperson. He is currently the chairman and the managing director of Technocraft Industries India Limited, which he has co-founded in 1972, along with his brother, who is also an IIT Bombay alumnus, Sudarshan Kumar Saraf. Dr. Saraf has held important positions in trade and professional bodies, such as managing committee member, Federation of Indian Export Organizations, also the vice chairman of Engineering Export Promotion Council, and a lot more like that. He is an entrepreneur who has achieved an outstanding level of success in developing technologies and its application to produce the market and engineering product. So put your hands together for the chief guest of this conference. Over to you, sir.
Thanks for your kind words. My distinguished colleagues on the dais, faculty members of Sardar Patel College, and my young friends. At the outset, I am very grateful to the organizers of this seminar today, 2022, and giving me an opportunity to stand before you. Whenever I am in an engineering college or addressing young, bright minds like this, I not only feel young, but I also feel inspired. I am also one of your fraternity members. We have this particular conference, Speak on 2022, as was rightly said by speakers before me, is being held at a very appropriate and right time. At the moment, apart from domestic issues, in the global scenario, we have serious offset of economies by the Russian-Ukraine war, by the long-drawn pandemic, which has affected the supply chain, and several other issues that are happening now. This conference, I am sure, will go a long way in finding some innovative solutions to the situations we feel now. Let me start with commenting on the topic today. Industry 4.0, Nascent Technologies and Sustainability for Make in India initiative. If you see, the theme is divided into three parts. The first is Industry 4.0, Nascent Technologies and Sustainability for Making India initiative. It has been very cleverly and intelligently picked up by the organizers because there is a connectivity between the three parts. And I will try to go through this and see how they connect and how important they are. Industry 4.0, as you would have rightly guessed, means the fourth industrial revolution. So, we go step by step. The first revolution, industrial revolution, happened in 18th century when James Watt, an English engineer, discovered the steam engine in 1764. That brought in a sea change, a revolution in the way the engineering industry was operating that time. The hand-operated or water wheel-operated machines were replaced by the steam engine. It also brought in a large number of innovative development of that time, like steam railways, textile mills, and engineering industry, and so on. The second revolution happened in the early 20th century when aerospace was invented. Electric power replaced the steam engine, and it brought in the era of mass production. This revolution was jump-started by the two world wars, which spawned a large number of new technologies, and that resulted in the second revolution. The third revolution started in the late 20th century, let's say from 1965, 70 onwards, leading up to the first half of 21st century, wherein the computers came in and our lives changed at that time. We got communications like never before. Lot of new equipment came in. The productivity increased. There was a proliferation of computers in particularly all the fields, all the activities around us. We are finally witnessing the fourth and the most important so far. I am saying so far because there surely will be fifth and sixth and so on. So we are finally witnessing the very important fourth industrial revolution, which, as Professor Rane pointed out, it consists of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, nanotechnologies, blockchain technologies, and so on. If you think our lives changed in the third industrial revolution, then behold, your breath. The fourth one is going to cause serious changes, as Dr. Rane said, he has taken some words from my mouth. We will see a lot of changes in the way we do business, the way we think, the way our gadgets work. Now, very simple. You have a smartphone, and I am one of the beneficiaries. Wherever in the world I am sitting, that's my office. I see the mails, I see the messages, make phones, I see the weather, temperature, and I see the currency rates, and what have you. I can even check my health on the phone. It's absolutely amazing. That's one example of the fourth industrial revolution. But a lot more is going to come, and that is why, even though Dr. Chaudhary said that it is already there, of course it is there, but it is still nascent. There is, believe me, when I see things happening in the laboratories, in different laboratories in the country, including in IIT Bombay, IIT Jammu, or even in BITRA, Bombay Textile Research Association, of which I am the chairman, who are doing cutting-edge research in textiles. I am amazed to see how they are weaving, they are putting in artificial intelligence, because they cannot put human intelligence in the products. So that is why it's called artificial intelligence, into almost all kinds of products, and then they simply call them as smart. So we now have smart textiles coming out of laboratories from BITRA. We have a range of smart products, smart cities. All these are based on Internet of Things, which is like cloud computing, and a host of new developments affecting our daily lives would be seen in years to come. That is one of the reasons why I think the organizers still called it in the nascent stage. The development, the major development is still to come. The second part, or rather the third part of this today's topic of the conference, is the one that is closest to my heart. It is about sustainability of Make in India. It is slightly different from the other two, but as I said, one leads to another. The nascent technologies or the new technologies that we discussed are also going to affect Make in India. I already pointed out to you how the first, second, third, and now the fourth industrial revolution came about, and the fourth revolution is the one that is going to sustain Make in India. Let's talk a little bit more about it. Make in India is synonymous or complementary with Atmanirbhar Bharat. They are both almost together. One is in Hindi, the other is English, but ultimate meaning is the same. Why you want to make in India? Because you want to become Atmanirbhar. The Prime Minister has rightly given the call of Make in India at a time when we were enamored with imports. Everybody wanted everything imported. The industry wanted raw materials imported. Consumers wanted consumer goods imported. And this affected our trade balance. Even today, we have a negative trade balance of over $100 billion. That is a blot on our economy. That, according to me, is a very shameful thing for our entrepreneurs and our engineers. What are we doing? Why can't we have positive trade balance? Why can't we become a factory of the world like they call China today. What is it lacking with us that we cannot turn the tables and make our trade balance positive? And that spirit which is there in our young engineers who are coming out is going to sustain this Make in India. So sustainability of Make in India is not only inbuilt, but now with the changed situation in the world, it is also the need of the hour. Look at what happened in last 1 or 2 years, let us say. First, we had the pandemic, which affected the supply chain. We had problems in moving raw materials. We had problems in even the internal movement of goods, and a lot of disruption was there. Our supplying countries, be it China or US or countries in Europe, they were affected badly, impacted badly, and we could not get the raw material or inputs that were required by the industry. We need to produce them here, and that would again sustain Make in India. You look at the Russian-Ukraine war. Russia is one of our largest supplier of defense equipment. And to sustain that equipment, to keep it in working order, to keep it in running condition, we need spares. More so, in case of any untoward incident with our hostile neighbors that we have on east and west and north, we would need the military spares or military equipment very badly, and Russia is our most important source. There were sanctions put on Russia, so it was very difficult to get anything out of Russia. So what is the solution? Make them here. And that is what our Prime Minister is doing. And that is why we have the biggest push ever in defense to promote manufacture of defense products, defense components here. I don't know how many of you are aware, but the government of India has banned import of large number of defense equipment which was being imported in the past with the condition that it has to be produced here, and the foreign suppliers are now trying to set up joint ventures and manufacturing facilities here in India. It doesn't matter who owns. The issue is it has to be produced here. We are saying make in India. We are not saying that only by Indians, make in India only by Indians. No, the production has to take place here. So now, today, make in India is a necessity. And that necessity will sustain it, because necessity is mother of invention. So it is the necessity which is put on us is going to sustain. Similar issue is with our relations with China. Time and again, we have these pinpricks from China, and we never know which one is going to blow up, whether it will be Galwan or Doklam or Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh or in Ladakh or so on. All around, those fellows are trying to corner us. This is on the east. On the west side, again, we do not have a very friendly neighbor. And hence, our dependence on China has to go. And this, during my presidency of Federation of Indian Exports Organization, was my main thrust. And I had suggested to the Commerce Minister that we should attack those items that are being supplied by China on the top priority basis, because we never know when what will go wrong with our relations with China. And I'm happy that he has listened to it very positively. And a lot of those items are now included in the production-linked incentive scheme, the major, most popular scheme today of Government of India. So it is also, they are also included in several other thrust schemes. So my suggestion even to you, while you are in the final year or when you are about to go out, look out for products that are being imported from China and see why you can't do them here. In my opinion, there is no reason why we can't be competitive with China. The Chinese costs are going up while we are where we are at the moment. It's not a major increase that we are facing. So we are now in almost all spheres we are taking on China. On the same lines, another issue that will support sustainability of Make in India is the new China plus one policy being followed by most of our buyers in US and Europe. So after China, what they did to Taiwan and several other global issues that they created, the West, US as well as Europe, and this I'm saying from my own experience because we are one of the large exporters in those countries. And so when we had severe competition from China, even now we have competition from China, but our buyers follow China plus one policy, which means apart from China, they need one more. It is now for us, so we are there in one, it is now for us to remove that China part and be one. So we are trying hard. That will also sustain Make in India. I am giving you various reasons, hidden reasons, why Make in India is going to be successful, not only successful, but grow exponentially, grow in a huge growth rate, at a huge accelerated rate, and all of you need to be part of it. When I say you need to be part of it, it doesn't mean that all of you, 100%, will become entrepreneurs and will start your own manufacturing. No. Even if you are working as a professional in a company, in a manufacturing company, you are part of Make in India team. So it is very important that you gear yourself for the future growth of Make in India. I would like to point out two initiatives that we have in IIT Bombay, sir, for your attention. The first one, which is very close to me, which I started myself, is called Tinkerer's Lab. This is a completely independent studio or a lab that we created. I have created both in IIT Bombay and Jammu. It is run by the students, operated by the students, used by the students. So here we have turning machines, welding machine, 3D printers, drilling machine, all kinds of machines, one machine, or 3D we have 4 3D different sizes, lathes we have 2, 3. These are housed in a studio, and the students, so we say, come up with an idea and go out with a product. So you come with some dream, some product you have in mind, and I can tell you last about 3 months back I was in Jammu to assess what is happening in the lab, and I was astonished, pleasantly surprised to see the quality of products that those students made. It was absolutely amazing. So, given an opportunity, our students can create products far beyond their age or far beyond what they are in the college. And some of these could lead to become startups. This Tinkerers Lab is entirely funded by external sources. It's not funded by IIT. IIT only provides the space. So we have some generous alumni who have donated, and this lab has come up. The second institute that we have, or department we have in the IIT, is called Society of Innovation and Entrepreneur, SINE, SIGN. It is an incubation center. So I just found out that you have an incubation center here in SP College also. I'm very happy to note that, and the professor sitting here who's heading this. So, but in SIGN, we have dedicated a huge, big building. There are 54 startups that are being incubated now. It is not necessary to be an IIT alumni, student or faculty. They take even outsiders depending on the project idea and the importance of the idea. Everybody comes there with an idea, and then they incubate it. And when I say incubate it, they take a minority stake of about 5%, give them free space, office space to work, and allow them the laboratory and other facilities, consultation with the professors, and they have a roster of mentors. So each startup could have, if they want to, a very senior person as a mentor. So this is now working very well. I am proud to tell you that at least one startup in last 5 years have become a unicorn, which means valuation of over $1 billion. And a large number of startups have attracted over $100 million funding. So I would suggest that SP College also institutionalize this incubation. We have this sign as an independent society. It is, of course, owned by IIT. It is in the campus. But all the decision making, its board, everything is separate. So there are some experts who are on the board of SIGN, who are experts on startup and funding and so on. So these grassroots initiatives are also going to sustain Make in India. They are all the seeds, let us say, of Make in India. And they will grow. As I see now the audience, I see very bright faces here. It's very inspiring. It's very heartening to see that we, SP College, will also be bringing out a large number of players for Make in India. Friends, I would like to go a little bit away from the topic of today, just to touch upon a few things. One issue was during my introduction, mention was made that I was the founder of IIT Bombay Alumni Association. At that time in 1981, there was no alumni association, and I graduated in '69, and I always thought that it is the alumni, successful alumni, who create the brand of the institute. What is brand IIT? How did it get created? Of course, they provide very good education. Even SP College provides very good education. But the alumni who have gone out, who went to US or even stayed in India. I stayed in India, I never went out. I only went out for industrial training, but I never went out for higher education to US. 70% of my batch went. But that didn't move me to go. I thought, I am born here, I'm going to die here. So, and I'm not regretting. I'm not regretting having lived here. I'm very happy. So, we need to see how the college, sir, this is my appeal to SP College also, get properly acquainted or properly connected with the alumni. I started last Sunday of the year, Alumni Day. So this 25th December is the last Sunday of this year, and we are going to celebrate Alumni Day in IIT Bombay. And sir, Chaudhary Sahab, you are all ex-students of IIT Bombay. You are welcome on 25th December. So at least one day, the college must invite all the alumni, and that has to be done through the Alumni Association. A powerful, all the US universities, European universities, Australian universities, Japanese universities, they all have very strong alumni, and that helps in their career, in their lives. When you say, Arvindji here is an alumni of SP College, immediately everybody felt very happy that one of us is standing on the dais here. So this is the kind of feeling one gets. So, sir, this is my one suggestion, apart from what I've told you about the incubation center or Tinkerer's Lab, which you can have. One more thing, sir, the alumni are also your biggest resource. IITs get hundreds of crores of rupees as donation from alumni. This Rakesh Gangwal, IIT Kanpur alumni, the owner of this, one of the airlines, I think SpiceJet or something, he has donated 100 crores to IIT Kanpur. My own company, Technocraft Industries, have set up a Center for Artificial Intelligence in IIT Bombay, where we are doing a lot of development and research in artificial intelligence. There is Shailesh Mehta School of Management, which was donated by Shailesh Mehta. There is Kamal Rekhi IT School, donated by Kamal Rekhi, these are the famous successful alumni. Wadhwani Center. We have a whole range of large, very successful IIT alumni who have come up. In fact, last month, Director IIT Subhashi Chaudhary and I, together with our team, toured US. Every year we have a kind of a road show. So we did the road show in 5 cities: Houston, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, and New Jersey. We collected $15 million. So, what is it? It is Guru Dakshina. You must understand that the college is the Guru, not just an individual professor. Each individual professors who have taught you are collectively Guru. So that is the view one has to take. Why they became successful in US, why they donated $15 million, we didn't go begging. Let me make it very clear, we didn't go begging. We didn't say that you should or you should not. But they are there because of the excellent education and upbringing they got in IIT. Lot of alumni of this college, including Arvindji sitting here, are successful because of their experience that they had here and the education that they got here. So we just pointed it out to them indirectly that we are very grateful that you made good use of your IIT education and your stay in IIT. And automatically, a lot of them loosened their purse. And we came back with $15 million. And this we do year on year. It is not only one at a time. Therefore, sir, alumni are your important resource. You have to track them. We did that. 10 years we spent in trying to track all our alumni because there was no record earlier. So whole 80s, from 80 to 85, 89, we tracked, and then we were on. Kamal Rekhi, who started the school of Kamal Rekhi, he wanted to donate 30 lakhs way back in 84 or 85. And he couldn't do it because there was no law that permitted him to donate to IIT. Then we went to the ministry and got the law amended, and now anybody can donate. IITs are owned by Government of India. So they have to operate within certain framework, and they are directly monitored by Ministry of Education, Department of Higher Technical Education. So, friends, I think there is a lot that one can talk about, and particularly when you find such attentive audience, it's a pleasure to talk. But then, as all good things, we have to come to an end. I thank you very much for your patient listening. And I hope I will have opportunities in future as well to come and meet up with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for all your guidance, right from the geopolitical references, even to the suggestions that you gave, all those valuable suggestions. Thank you so much, sir. Now, another thing that the whole organizing committee of the conference would like to appreciate and thank to is Dr. Kedarnath Rane, who is a senior scientist for the government of United Kingdom, and also Dr. Vinod Belwansi, who is a senior research fellow from the University of Glasgow, USA. They have made out a precious time of them and attended this conference. So a big round of applause for them. So finally, moving on to the key speakers of our conference, I would like to request Sanjeev Gupta sir to please take the dais and start with their presentation. Asking our keynote speaker, Dr. Arvind. All the students, please take the seats. Asking the keynote speaker, Dr. Arvind Anklikar, ex-Vice President of L&T Infotech Limited, to please take the dais. Sir, should I switch it? All the students, please have your seat. Everybody, please have your seats. And please maintain the decorum. You are requested to maintain the decorum. Students, all the students and the dignitaries, please have your seats. Everyone, please have your seats.
Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Hello, hello. I request all the members of the audience, please occupy your seats, maintain the decorum. We have the keynote speech given by Dr. Arvind Anklikar, our guest of honor and the keynote speaker. So this is going to be one of the best inputs and one of the best attractions of the conference. I request all of you to kindly take.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon. I don't know what is the time now. It is 11:45. So good morning. Again, a brief introduction from my side. I am Dr. Arvind Anklikar. I did my PhD in mechanical engineering from SPC. I've been coming in here many times in the past. I don't know how many of you have seen me, but it's a pleasure to be here again today. So what I'm going to do is, the presentation that I have is all about use cases. I'm not going to talk about technology. I'm not going to talk about anything, which is about artificial intelligence or AR, VR, nothing of that sort. All that I'm going to do is to talk about some of the business problems that we solved as an organization. Because finally, at the end of the day, what matters, and as Dr. Saraf mentioned very rightly, is how are we being relevant to the industry. So all that I've done is to talk about some of the case studies. So as the laptop is getting set up, I'll just talk about a few things that we as an organization do. So I am from LTI Mindtree. I don't know how many of you know us, but we are a $4 billion company. L&T Infotech was owned by Larsen & Toubro Group, and Larsen & Toubro itself is a large manufacturing organization. And in terms of Industry 4.0 adoption, I think L&T itself is far ahead, in terms of the kind of, adoption that is done in the construction industry as well as heavy engineering industry. So I'll talk about some of the case studies very quickly. So this is me. Again, I'm PhD in mechanical, over 35 years of experience. I'm teaching in Jamnalal Bajaj for the last 15 years now. And I teach, business process re-engineering for MMS second year, that is the final semester. And I also cover project management MI. So there are multiple subjects that I cover at JBIMS for the full-time MMS batch. Dr. Saraf spoke of the fourth industry, revolution or industry 4.0. I know everybody will be aware of this particular slide. There's nothing new about this slide. We started in the 18th century with the steam engine, James Watt. We had the second, industry wave, the third one. And incidentally, I was part of the third wave. When I started my industry work, I was in PLC, DCSs, SCADA systems. I've implemented these systems which are very, very core to the industry revolution that was happening that time. And now is the digital wave. Now is the time when we are seeing tremendous amount of, changes happening in the industry. When I teach in Bajaj, what I see is the kind of, interest or enthusiasm students have to learn new things. All of you are students here, many of you are students. I'm sure that, the Industry 4.0 foundation is actually going to give you a tremendous amount of advantage. This is a great event, great seminar being organized by SPCE. If you are able to really understand what this Industry 4.0 is all about, I think that itself is a great achievement in my view. You know, how many of you really understand what is Industry 4.0? What problems is Industry 4.0 is solving? Do we even understand what it is? Why do we really need Industry 4.0? I mean, we are fine, you know, we are in Industry 3.0, that's fine. Industry 2.0, it's okay. You know, the life is going on, we are happy, you know, there are vehicles to take us around. There are aircrafts flying. Aircrafts were there in 1970 as well. So what is so different? Why do we really need Industry 4.0? Why are we talking about it? I think it is very important for us to get into the foundation and understand why and what kind of problems are we solving. And unless we know, you know, in fact in our company, we always used to talk, you know, whenever there is a debate going on, we always say that first, let us take a pause and define the question first. Define what are we solving for, you know. So when we are talking about Industry 4.0, what exactly are we trying to do? So that's a very, very important question that we should ask ourselves and also understand, you know, what are we solving for? You know, why Industry 4.0? Why is the buzzword? It's fine, we have a, you know, mobile phone in the pocket, that's fine. We are able to, you know, book a cinema ticket, that's fine, but that's okay. Is that, but why, what are the pain points? Is the industry same as it was in let's say 1980? Absolutely not. Is the world the same? Absolutely not. So there is a absolutely changing world, and what is that change that is happening in the world? So I think the fundamental, you know, problem that we are grappling with in industry, and I tell you, I am very fortunate that most of my time that I spend in office is with customers. You know, we get customers from all over the world. Bulk of the revenue that we earn in L&T Infotech, LTI Mindtree now, is from US and Europe. And almost all of them, they come with problems. You know, when I teach in Bajaj and I teach business process reengineering, you know, the whole IT industry has undergone a massive change. There used to be a time about 20-25 years ago when what we used to do is we used to send profiles. You know, somebody used to require a developer in, let's say, C++ or Java skilled resource. And all that we used to do is to send a profile and do body shopping. You know, the live body shopping, not dead body shopping. You know, it's a, you know, the body is being shipped to US. So that used to be the type of work we used to do. Later on, what happened was the whole industry changed, the paradigm changed. And we were asked questions that, you know, I don't need body, you know, I need you guys to take responsibility, take some risks, do projects. You know, and they used to give us a written down specification and say, this is my business problem. Like, let's say SPCE wanting to develop a campus management system. You know, they'll give a requirement and that requirement is to be taken by us. And we used to come out with a fixed price, fixed scope, you know, engagement, and we used to submit it to the customer. That was the second, you know, IT 2.0 for us, you know, in the same parlance. Then what happened? The customer said, you know, I am giving you requirements. I am defining all that I want. This is not the way I should really be working. You guys have seen the world, you know the other industries. Please now, you know, come forward and tell me if this is my problem. How will I solve this problem? What kind of ideas will I need to solve this problem? And absolutely, this is a conversation. I know that when we used to interact with customers in the US, in the remotest corner, you know, you'll find all other IT companies, CAT was there, all of them, all over the world. You put this village somewhere in God-forsaken places in North America. You'll find, you know, all the companies, but all these companies were what? They were doing what? They were, you know, they were talking to the customer was getting a problem, and they were saying, okay, this is my problem, please tell me what kind of system you will develop. So that was the third, you know, phase of IT maturity, if I may have to say so. And now what is the situation? Customer comes to us and says, I don't know what my problems are. This is my company, this is the way I'm operating. Please look at me. Please look at my processes. Look at my business model. And tell me what I can do differently. Tell me how can I be better. Tell me what kind of problems am I facing as a business and what kind of solution I need to have from the IT standpoint. So this is a completely fundamental change. So when we are looking at this kind of change business model, I think it is also important for the talent like yourself to understand that the business model is changing. It's no more enough for us to just talk about, development or a developer syndrome, as we call it, but it's also important for us to understand the business, what are the new business models, what is happening in the world, what is best in the interest of the company or a business. That is also equally important. So what are the today's challenges that we are seeing? The disruptions. Mr. Saraf, Dr. Saraf spoke of disruptions. I tell you, when there was tsunami in 2004, our business was impacted heavily. There was so much of problem in IT industry that time. And of course, we saw multiple different challenges. In 2008, we had, the other type of challenges. I don't know how many of you are tracking the industry evolution. But when tsunami struck Japan, of course, India too was affected. What happened was there were severe challenges in the server manufacturing. So I think lots of companies who were trying to work on, let's say, implementation of large IT projects, they were not able to do it because there was no hardware available. Japan was devastated, the industry was impacted. So all that disruption causes immense problems. So today we are seeing the same, but far more frequently. We see COVID. Now today morning, before coming here, I was watching the television and I was, they were talking about, the another wave of COVID. Perhaps I was actually expecting a lot of people here with masks. Fortunately, no one is there right now. But I think next month, if we have the session, I'm sure many of you would be in masks. So basically, what is happening is the whole world is very, very dynamic. Disruption is happening. The cost pressure. I'll tell you, Larsen & Toubro as an organization works in the construction industry. The projects we execute are of the magnitude of 4,000 crores, 5,000 crores, maybe 10,000 crores. And the margins we make is minuscule. It's not a business where you see a huge amount of differentiation. Construction doesn't have differentiation. So therefore, what happens is that the cost pressures are very heavy. So can I work in the same way as I used to be earlier? Perhaps no, because I have to do something much better, so that I can actually manage my costs and risk better. So this is another problem that we are trying to solve. The geographic situation. We are operating multiple geographies. The whole supply chain is becoming global, and it has already become global. Something happening in Russia, Ukraine is having a war with Russia. Why should India get impacted? What is happening? Where is the, what kind of, implications such global phenomenon has on India? So there is a huge connection now. We are talking about the complete global economy, so all this is connected. Of course, there's nothing new here. We are talking about global economy for the last 2 decades now. But these are becoming far more intense, and therefore Industry 4.0 is actually bringing that kind of agility, and we are trying to solve a problem. I'll talk about it a little later also. And the demand behavior, the customer expectations, customer requirements are changing. The Industry 2.0 focused on mass production. What is mass production? Mass production basically means that, everybody wanted similar type of, a commodity item. But today, it is all about personalization. I would like to have a designer shirt, I would like to have a designer pen. My car has to be different. I have to have a configuration which is only for myself. So the whole consumer behavior, the customer behavior is also changing. And that is very evident when we talk to the customer. Customers say that my end customer has a very, very different need. And how am I going to fulfill that need? If I know that, what kind of factory setup I need to have. So all of that, these are the big problems. These are big rocks that need to be. And you can really solve that if you have some kind of agile business model, agile factories, smart factories that can actually cater to some of the, continuously changing requirements. And therefore, business resilience to global risk and changing customer expectations require more connectivity and real-time, information or insights. So this is very, very important. So some of the, first is supply chain, issues. We talk about supply chain disruption because of the economic situations that happen in the world. Pandemic is another, issue that we solve. Cost reduction another major concern that we have. Emergency reporting. What is happening is, some of the thoughts, some of the paradigms that we are using. I'm sure that if you are from perhaps no. It is no more relevant in today's times. I think the inventory management concepts and models are very different because, you know, the customer requirements are changing all the time. We are actually trying to respond to customers on real-time basis. There are constant changes that are happening. The supply chain is disrupted. So there are major issues that is making the whole paradigm or the concepts that we are used to massively got or dramatically got. And that's what we are seeing here. You know, the ESG is another one. Greenhouse gas emissions. You know, is something that companies are expected to, to report. I was talking to one insurance company about 1 week ago. You know, they came from US. It's a very large insurance customer. And that customer CIO came and met me. And the conversation that the client was having was about how can I minimize the greenhouse emission that is happening because of the people travel from, let's say, North America to other continents. So what can we do? So those are the kind of questions people are asking. How can I control? How can I track? How can I monitor? And how can I minimize my greenhouse emission index for my organization? So the whole paradigm is very different. We talked about COP27. You know, I think it was spoken by even Dr. Saraf. You know, those are the kind of regulations that are coming in now. And finally, the connected customers, where customer is actually talking about constant change. Their expectations are changing, their demands are changing, their volumes are changing. So all that is actually impacting the industry. So therefore, the whole industry needs are very different. So as I mentioned, when we are talking about Industry 4.0, we must understand what is the problem statement that we are trying to solve. And unless we do that, we will not be able to come out with a proper response to the business requirements or to the business needs. So what are the industry needs here? And what are the interventions that are required? First is, let us look at R&D. You know, that's the fundamental or the first part of the product life cycle, right? So here where, we are talking about R&D, we are looking at faster or a quicker, development. How can we do development fast enough or in an accelerated manner? How can I have my production which is smart enough? How can I, respond to the changing requirement? You know, there are companies, I'm actually working for a company in the US. They are based in Connecticut. And the customer's factory folks are talking to us and they are saying that my demand is almost all the time changing. You know, my part requirements are changing. How can I manage my supply network? You know, how can I have my supply chain agile enough? How can I have my entire, the sourcing, my production, my distribution, all of that agile enough so that I can respond to this changing requirements. So those are the kind of issues people have. Distribution is another area. You know, the track and trace, I'll tell you in case of distribution, L&T had a big problem. One of the problem L&T had was the construction site that L&T runs used to always source material from various different vendors. You know, there were various suppliers coming in, shipping, let's say, steel, bars or rods or multiple different types or maybe pressure vessels. But the problem is when the equipments were getting shipped, the site was never notified in advance. So they were never intimated that this particular, equipment is going to be at site on a particular day, because of which the planning was ineffective. But today what L&T has done, and again I'm going to talk about L&T case study, which is perhaps the most relevant case study from Industry 4.0 standpoint. I mean, what L&T has been able to achieve is something so dramatic that it is something which no other company in the country, I can confidently say, can even consider to be anywhere close to what L&T has been able to achieve. After sales is another area. You know, I'll tell you, we are working for a very large organization, Otis Elevators, let me tell you. Otis Elevators is there in the US. They are in the business of people moving, people movers. They are coming out with the next generation elevators. What they told us is that they want to create an elevator where the buttons will be completely eliminated. Then how will you manage, how will you handle if I'm going to a building and there are no buttons, what am I going to do? So they said it is all going to be visual. We are going to have a camera. The camera will sense that a person is coming into the building. He is in the elevator area, in the lobby. And the camera will sense it. The elevator will be smart elevator. So the elevator will detect that person. So it will schedule that particular movement and it will come. And it will know me. Suppose if I'm living on a 11th floor, the lift will understand that my destination is 11th floor. So it will take me to the 11th floor. Now the big question is, if I want to go to the 12th floor, what will happen? Now I don't know what the solution is. How are they going to solve that problem? But these are the kind of product designs that we are having today. And Otis Elevator, they also told us one very, very important use case. So the elevators they manufacture are in thousands. So they gave a beautiful business case. They said that we want to actually come out with a customer experience which has never been achieved before. And then we asked, what exactly do you mean by that? So they said that if, let us say, if there is an elevator in Hong Kong, and there is a building in Hong Kong, sorry, and in that building, there are some 18 elevators installed, and if one particular elevator is having some kind of a technical issue, the control room that they have in Melbourne, Australia, should actually be able to detect that this building in Hong Kong, elevator number 10 or 11, is having some technical problem. So before even the customer comes to know that the elevator is having a problem, they will know about it. And they will be able to actually reach out to the field service agent, and the field service technician will actually detect or get the intimation that there is one building in Hong Kong where there are problems, so therefore you should go and address and attend the problem that they are facing. Immense, huge case study. If I have a supplier where, he is going to provide me service of this nature, where a problem gets solved even before I know what the problem is, I think I'll be a fan of that company, is it not? So Industry 4.0 actually should really be, addressing such problems. We should be able to create frameworks, platforms, which should be so futuristic that you should be able to solve a problem that the customer is not even aware of. And that's the way the industry is moving. I told you, right, industry evolution, IT industry particularly, I don't know what, Sanjeev, you feel, but we get questions that I have a business which is running here in the US. I really don't know what my problems are. I really don't know what should I do. You tell me what I should do. And that's the kind of a conversation we are having. And therefore, I think the youngsters here should actually understand that it's not just enough for us to understand Industry 4.0, but also understand the business problem that the Industry 4.0 is trying to solve. I think understand the problem first. A well-defined problem statement is job half done, is what I think. This is, I think, some of the paradigms and thought processes. I looked at the booklet. I think almost everything is covered here. You have papers on connected platform, connected operations, connected customer, connected ecosystem. So everything is covered. So I think there is nothing new here. This is more technology oriented, paradigms that is being present. But I don't want to get into this at all. So what are the drivers? Again, asset utilization. I was talking to president of one of the large oil and gas company. It's a $230 billion oil company based out of US, California. And the president refinery was in India, and he came to our office, and of course our chairman was there, and we met him. And he said that if I am able to increase my asset utilization by 1%, it will improve my bottom line by $900 million. Now $900 million, we are talking about 8,000 crores or something like that, 7,000 crores. So that's a kind of a number. So 1% improvement in asset utilization is something that will dramatically going to improve the bottom line on the books of a company. So these are the kind of problem statements we have, and Industry 4.0 should actually cater to such problems. Labor is another problem that L&T has been able to solve. Almost 300,000 people in Larsen & Toubro, they are blue-collared workers. They need to have proper management, proper control. and we'll talk about the case study later on. Inventory, quality, time to market. So these are some of the drivers that we can actually talk of. And in every area, there are case studies, there are use cases that we can actually understand and see how we can create a solution which is based on Industry 4.0 paradigm. So what are the outcomes? What we have seen based on our research, and we are doing a lot of work, and that's why I mentioned that Industry 4.0 is not nascent. If you look at Gartner hype curve, Industry 4.0 existed even 8 years ago or 7 years ago, and there are, several different, cases where the concepts, the AR, VR technologies have been actually implemented and substantial benefit has been derived. But getting back, what kind of outcomes do you see by implementing Industry 4.0? So one of the parameters is inventory holding cost. So definitely there is a significant reduction here. The labor productivity increase, throughput increase, machine downtime reduction, forecasting accuracy, and cost of money. So all of these are very important parameters. In fact, we are working very closely with Oracle to develop smart factory application. Many of you would have read about GE Predicts systems. It's a smart factory model, and some of the companies have come out with some very, very cool applications which are based on Industry 4.0 paradigm. Some other numbers based on the research, the increase from 2018 in the global market for Industry 4.0 surpassed 300 billion by 2023. That's the number, 384% increase. 31% of production processes are equipment, and 30% of non-production processes contribute towards smart devices and embedded intelligence. So what are we talking about? We are talking about some huge opportunity here. All these numbers are based on research, and they actually give you, an indication that this particular, paradigm or smart factory, connected customer, connected assets is the future. If you make your career here, in fact, I have also captured one slide on what are the research opportunities. If you want to do PhD, are there any topics? And I think that there is so much to do. I have done PhD myself here, so I can relate to some of the problem statement that industry has. And there are huge opportunities here, especially in this area. And I will talk about it a little later. So these are the interesting numbers. All of you should keep in mind that this is one area where there is a lot of research happening right now. We don't even know what problems the business is having, and we are actually supposed to solve these problems. That's the expectation. So what is new wow? So new wow is actually way of working. So new way of working is what we mean here. So it actually talks about supply chain transformation, new market and new business needs. Actually, I was reading a book by Dr. Prahlad, who happens to be also from Ross School of Management, and has talked about manufacturing as a service. Everything as a service. In fact, we talked about it yesterday morning. And he said that can I have an automobile being supplied as a service? Absolutely, right? We can rent the car. Take the logic to the next level and say, can I make tires and give tires as a service? And if you really get into the details, you'll actually start thinking that why not? I can actually provide everything that I get in the market as a service. I can actually not buy a tire, but I'll say that I am going to, let's say, Dunlop and get tires that can give me a service for, let's say, 20,000 kilometers. That's a service. How to keep the tires intact, what kind of charges they will actually give you, they'll charge you for the tire service, is something that has to be worked out. Insurance companies, there are companies in the US where the insurance is charged based on where the vehicle is going. For example, if I come to SP Jain College, such a crowded place, right? They're outside, there are so much of traffic. If you're coming in here, you are bound to have some accident someday with your car. So obviously the insurance premium is going to be much higher. But if you're driving your car between Mumbai to Pune on an expressway with less traffic, insurance is not going to be that high. So there are some business models where actually you are charged based on where are you taking your car. That's the kind of world we are going to, and we should have ideas. Jack Ma made a brilliant statement. He said, I can't be the fastest man on earth. I mean, gone are the days. I can't make myself run that fast to become the fastest man. But I can be first somewhere. Meaning, I will invent something, or I'll discover something, or I'll create something which is first. And if you are able to do that, I think the rest is, you can create history. All the models that we see, Airbnb, Uberization, what is that? It's just an idea, right? I mean, that idea has been implemented. Industry 4.0 also is something which is basically comprising of multiple different technology areas, but coming out with some brilliant solutions that can solve industry problems. There are so many case studies we have, so many. I don't want to get into that, but I'll just talk about L&T case study. There are so many here that you can see. Most of them have solved some very, very difficult problems. And I can go on and on, in case, Dr. Rane, if you want me to continue till evening, I'll go through each and every case study here. And each and every case study is a wealth of knowledge. I can honestly tell you that if you guys want to learn, each case study here has been very well thought out, problems that the industry had and how these have been addressed or solved by using the modern next generation technology areas. Very quickly on L&T, I'll take just a couple of more minutes. L&T is the largest construction company, and they wanted to, our CEO, Mr. S.N. Subramaniam, is a true visionary. If I go to his office, not very far from this place, there is a huge screen where every project of L&T all over the world is captured in an image. And if Mr. Subramaniam wants to see, we call him SNS, if SNS wants to see what kind of asset utilization, is there in, let's say, Haldia petrochemical complex, and where, what kind of assets are deployed there, are they being utilized, are there any breakdowns, all that information is actually available at his fingertips. He can actually get to that level and find out what kind of, utilization he has on the asset side. Amazing work. I think this is one area where actually they have completely digitized the construction activity. It's an amazing, case study. If some of you are interested, please do research on what L&T has been able to achieve, by implementing modern technologies, and coming out of the, smart factory, implementation within L&T itself. Almost 300,000 workers, over 35,000 assets. It's not a small company. We do about $22 billion. One of the largest construction companies. So just imagine the magnitude and scale. The problems are immense. The low margin, project delays, the risk. Every project, let's say 5,000 crore project is delayed. The kind of penalties we pay is immense. Simply, the whole company will actually go into that. But I think L&T manages all such large projects because of the technology backbone that they have been able to implement. So they have gone with connected plant, connected workers, connected material concepts. All these are amazing areas. They have been able to connect plant and machinery. Every machinery has got IoT-based, features, and that gives complete information about where that asset is, how much it is being utilized, what kind of load it is. In fact, he can also find out that out of, let's say, 30 days, how long that machine was actually doing the work that it is supposed to be. Or even going to the next level, if let's say 20-ton crane or the front-end loader, if it is supposed to have a capacity of 20 tons, is it actually being utilized for the right type of work, or it is underutilized? It is only lifting, let's say, 2 tons of material. So even that information is captured. The connected workman is another area. Is again, very, very important for L&T because 300,000 workers, if you are able to utilize them more effectively, it all goes to the bottom line. So what he's saying is stitching variety of pragmatic solutions to save close to 30 minutes per worker per day is the target. And just imagine 30 minutes, but the kind of benefit it will give to Larsen & Toubro is something which is mind-boggling. And this is connected material again. I think there are multiple different themes, topics that we can talk of. But this is in nutshell what I wanted to cover. There are immense opportunities. This is another case, where we have talked about how we can use indoor positioning system for inventory management. And customer is extremely happy by using some of the technology solutions that we have developed. Finally, research opportunities. I think this is a very important slide. Guys, life is short. There is so much to do. You are fortunate to be in the right field. Make best use of it. You can always, while around your time, go around, spend time in the canteen. You can always do that. But I think try to utilize the time that you have in the most effective manner. There's so much to do. I'll tell you, there are research opportunities where there is no digital KPI visible today. Dr. Rane, I think, very esteemed should actually talk about creating a maturity framework for digital engineering. We don't have it. If a company wants to find out what is their digital maturity, they don't have ways to make that up. There is so much to do here. Verticalized models, industry models, digital supply chain, modern finance or digital finance, ESG and sustainability. There are so many topics where each of this topic is a PhD subject. And if research done in some of these areas can actually give you an immense advantage, and it is through industry to academia connect as well. So there are lots of opportunities here. Please do come and meet us in case you would like to have ideas, and we'll be very happy to share our thoughts in these areas. That's it from my side. Thank you. Good luck. Best wishes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So moving on to the next keynote speaker, Sanjeev Gupta, sir. Sir, the whole dais is yours. Please give a big round of applause for him. Everyone, please be seated.
Sure, we tell him I'll bring back. It's already on? Yeah, it's on. Okay. Good afternoon. We had a very engaging session by Arvind. I think he had to leave for some work. So I will, a lot of topics when we talk about Industry 4.0 are common. I would like to skip some of those. Do not want to repeat, but I will try to present a different perspective to it altogether, right? So, in the last 500 years, big growth in the global GDP have been led by big industrial revolution, all right? So we talked about 1760 when James Watt invented steam engine, and from there the thing started. If you go into the history, you find that at the beginning of the century, of the what you call 2,000 years back, and until probably 1400 what you call AD, India and China used to have almost 30% approximately GDP of the world. They used to control, they used to manage because of the work that was being done by the local artisans and other things, which was more of manual labor. And that's where the first revolution that we talked about of invention of steam engine led to basically mechanization of the work. And that is where suddenly you see, because this steam engine was invented in Europe, Europe GDP started increasing. So big GDP followed big industrial revolution, okay? So whether it is that or then invention of electricity and electronics, where your assembly lines and others came in picture. So again, it led to a massive push in global economy or global GDP. And then came the third industrial revolution, which was almost like 5.5 decades back in our lifetime. I don't know, I can say in their lifetime, but in our lifetimes who are right now gone through their engineering, are into services. So we have seen that third industrial revolution. And then this third industrial revolution actually has given growth to innovation, both in electronics and digital technologies, which is now enabling the fourth industrial revolution, or what we call it Industry 4.0. So everybody is talking only about Industry 4.0. I have also put one more point there, Industry 5.0. So people have started discussing also about Industry 5.0, where, so this Industry 1.0 to Industry 5.0, this entire path gives us the past of the manufacturing and also what we can expect from future. We can't go too far, but in the near future, when we talk about Industry 5.0, it will talk more about how human and machine can collaborate to give a better what we call next level of what we call collaboration between these two machines and robots, and what we are calling as also as cobots, for example. So that is what will be enabled by fifth industry revolution, but today our focus is only on fourth industry revolution. So what's happening? So in this world of market volatility, what's happening is that product life cycles are getting shorter, products are becoming more complex, products are becoming more smarter, there are global supply chain. So in this scenario, all the companies are seeking to become more flexible and more responsive to business needs. So Arvind talked about from mass production to mass customization. That is, each one here want to have something which is unique to themselves or of their own choice, and that brings the individual choice or individual component into this production. So faster production, better quality. Nobody wants to have a product that has to be sent for repair. Mass customization, then increased productivity, because I think he gave example of 1% improvement in the utilization will result into $900 million worth of savings for that organization, right? Improved decision making and sharing economy. I think Industry 4.0 vision is basically enabling, or is expected to enable all of them, okay? And solve those challenges that we are talking about. Now, if you look at the canvas for Industry 4.0, what's happening is that everything is getting connected. So today, you must have also heard about connected cars or V2X, vehicle to anything, right? Those kind of connectivity. Are working on so many connected X today, whether it is connected mines. For example, we work with one of the mining customer where right from exploration, okay, to digging, to refining, to transport, everything is connected. Everything is connected and giving a huge amount of benefits to the customer. Then we are talking about vertical and horizontal integration. That is not only the integration in terms of manufacturing, but also what we call integration in terms of the manufacturing hierarchy which is there. Intelligent machines with independent information action. So it is machine-to-machine communication. What kind of data can be passed between the machines? What is the result of this information exchange? What benefit you can drive through this information exchange? Smart factory. So everything is becoming smart. So it's a smart device, smart manufacturing, smart services. Everything is becoming smart. So in this smart factory, can you clearly identify, can you trace the product at any point in the manufacturing process, right? Or can you also do, we talked about printing, right? So can you do a localized production? Can you transfer, rather than having a factory in one place and then shipping the material and with the use of global supply chain, can you reverse that entire thing? Can you get the factory at the place where it is consumed, right? Where the consumers are. So those kind of things. And then being able to control and optimize in real time. So more important is that this all culminates into what you see on the right hand side. That is about your increased operational equipment efficiency. On the flexible factory, I may have a demand from customer today, which may change tomorrow. I may have different demands. How can my factory be agile so that it can be able to accommodate these changes which are there, or be able to change the entire production line? I think Arvind talked about manufacturing as a service. We have been working with companies in Europe. In one lot, they manufacture the cars for Mercedes-Benz, and probably in the other lot, they manufacture cars for BMW. So this is production as a service. Like manufacturer is almost coming to that manufacturing service. So everything is becoming as a service. Then your empowered workers. Like how are you going to enable the workers to take the decisions, to know what's going to happen in real time and how they can manage it better. Then your autonomous manufacturing scale. So this is the dream. Everybody wants to go to the autonomous manufacturing, where in the World Economic Forum we have been talking about lights out factory or dark factory. I think that's where the autonomous manufacturing scale and quality and cost under control. So how the technology is going to enable all this is something that people are looking at. Now if you look from the Industry 4.0 perspective, there are technologies which have already matured. There are technologies which we know are going to mature probably in the next 5 years, and some of the technologies which are into very nascent stage. So a lot of countries like US, China, India, Brazil and UK are investing almost like $100 billion into scaling up these technologies, understanding how these technologies can be leveraged for better manufacturing or what you call making them part of the Industry 4.0 perspective. So mature technologies, you must be already aware about the cloud computing. I remember in 2008 when we talked about cloud computing, that time people only used cloud as a infrastructure service. Okay, I have my storage in a cloud. From there, we have gone to platform as a service. So today, your AWS, your Microsoft Azure have evolved your cloud technologies. Internet of Things, which is basically trying to break the traditional hierarchy of the ISO 95 hierarchy which is there in the manufacturing process. Then AI in manufacturing, basically about, I have some examples which I'm going to show you, some videos I'm going to show you on how this is being used in manufacturing, and the 3D printing. So these are the mature technologies where massive investment is already happening. And by 2025, we are going to see $100 billion worth of investment which is going to happen, but just by these few countries which are there in this technology. So through the new technology which we are calling IoT, or in the industrial context we call it industrial IoT or IIoT. The entire paradigm shift is happening. This on the right side what you see is a traditional model where you have SCADA, PLC. I used to work in these technologies 35 years back. I was part of Siemens when I used to work on control systems, HMI and other things. Which is a traditional thing where you have OT, which is separate, which is manufacturing, and IT, which is more about product life cycle management or enterprise resource planning or supply chain management, which used to be, and there should be a very clear distinction between IT and the OT technology. And that is where IoT technology which are there, where instead of going through the hierarchical layer of level 0, level 1, level 2 and level 3, the data and the information can pass from any level to any level. This IoT is enabling that. So it is collapsing the traditional hierarchical ISO 95 model which is there in the industrial manufacturing world. So I have represented here a typical, what you call under the hood, which are the technology enablers. I think this is very important for all of you to know. And this is basically the foundation of this particular enabler is a platform technology. So the platform takes care of the data management, the user management, network management, and all those at the bottom layer. And that's where you have these assets which are basically a bridge between the physical asset and the data. These are the assets which convert your physical information into digital information. For example, your temperature, your pressure, and all the other things. And then it is communicated through either edge devices, data servers, or through the industrial protocol. So OPC, only for process control, unified architecture, OPC UA is the very, very popular industrial protocol for communicating information between the various layers. And once you have the data which is coming from the devices, from the sensors, you get it into the data hub. And still, I'm using the word data, I'm not using the word information, because data is converted to information in the upper layer. Okay? So this data can be, a lot of it is a meaningless data because it is tag information, for example. It is a sensor information. Now, you are doing the aggregation at the, what you call fourth layer, at the data, for doing data ingestion, data transformation, storage, and various other things. From there, you are now converting the data into a meaningful information. So that's where is the information layer. Where you do the data processing, you do the workflow management, you create a rules engine, and other such things. Then comes your functional layer. This is where your AI model training, deployment, your calculation engines, your BI analytics apply, and finally comes the business layer. This is the layer which is exposed to the end user. So whether you have a plant control tower where you're doing the KPI monitoring, you are doing the condition monitoring, predictive maintenance, and there are limitless number of applications that can be put there. Today, if you look at your cell phone, it provides you, while it has an iOS at the bottom, at the top you have apps which actually provide you access to the business information, whether it is banking application, whether it is booking a movie ticket, booking a railway ticket, or any other weather information and other things. So this is where your business layer comes into picture. So this is a very high level block diagram, or you can say a block diagram architecture of what will a platform architecture for Industry 4.0 consist of. So what's happening in Indian context? So if you look at, this is input which is taken from NASSCOM report, where NASSCOM and Capgemini have created this report together. So if you look at the investment outlook, in the next 2 years, a lot of Indian corporates and organizations are actually trying to put big bet on the IoT or new IoT and OT investment. Cloud adoption, which was people were very scared to share their data on the cloud, are now becoming, are taking now cloud adoption is going mainstream. So everybody is now, they are convinced about the security of their data, they are convinced about the connectivity that they are getting right now, and that's where they know that they will be able to get access to data 24/7 without any issue. So there's a lot of cloud adoption which is happening. Then new age technologies like robotics, cognitive automation, AI, ML, that dark factory I talked about, right? That is basically your lighthouse factories are at a POC, a proof of concept. They want to see whether this particular thing will actually work for them or not. And then end-to-end supply chain digitalization is also happening. That's why you're able to now get access to, you place an order on Amazon, or you place an order on Flipkart, and you're able to track the order, you're able to also see the status when it's going to be delivered to you and everything else. And what are the adoption drivers here? I think more important is that there is a focus on what we call hiring and training digital skills, and that's where companies like Capgemini also have come forward to have what we call as the Engineering Excellence Connect Program, EECP, where we are going to colleges and universities to bridge the gap between the academia and the in the industry. So we have signed MOUs with almost like 55 universities across India, and your college happens to be one of them, where we have signed the MOU, where we are going to work with you very closely to impart Industry 4.0 training, and also to take your people, give them exposure. I think in our earlier session we talked about that people should get an opportunity to touch and feel and make their own decisions about how they want to use technology. We will provide that opportunity to your students and other 55 universities where we have MOU. So this is how you see the companies in India and the Industry 4.0 adoption in India is increasing day by day. Every day I get inquiries about how we can do something. There is little bit of skepticism still in industry, where they want to do a POC, a proof of concept, before they actually go into large-scale deployment, or they want to go in MVP, a minimum viable product that will give them, tell them, okay, what will be the return on investment that they are going to make right now. So those things are still happening, but I'm also seeing scaling up of those MVPs and POCs now in the second stage, in which India industry is there. So just one instance of how data, which may be meaningless when you are getting it from the source, gets converted into a meaningful data, and then how you can utilize it. So for example, at the lowest layer you have data, which is raw data, which is coming from the factory floor. So it can be any machine running status and other thing, which may not be, which is basically a set of text that only engineer can understand, who is actually working on that. From there, you are now converting this data into information. This model is known as DICAR. That's what you see on the top. DIKAR stands for data, information, knowledge, action, and results. So this is DICAR 4.0 model, where now you have converted raw data, factory data, into your enriched and aggregated information. So you now have descriptive information attached or contextualized for the data which is coming from the factory floor. From there, you are now trying to get into build your algorithms on predictive analytics. What should I do next? What is going to happen next? When it is going to happen? I'll give you a fantastic example going forward of what we have done in this regard. So what will happen next? And once that happens, can you, the action that you are taking, can that be converted into prescriptive analysis? And what I mean by prescriptive, now I will be able to give advisories on what action that needs to be taken if this is going to happen, right? So that is the ultimate aim, and that's where you are optimizing your factories, and that's where you may, if you're able to reach that level, where you are able to give a prescriptive analytics, then you will be able to also tend, I'm not using the word that you will reach there, but you'll tend towards your autonomous factory or lights out factory at that stage. This is the journey of data from being just raw data to something that is giving you a prescriptive results there. So I'll play a video just to give you what we have done and how we are leveraging it for the industry. I would like to have this thing, voice to it. Is there a sound? Can you make the sound? So what I have shown you right now is actually in, is already implemented in multiple factories across the globe, and I'll talk about that a little later. So having talked about this platform, what are the key ingredients of a smart factory? And what's more important is that there are 5 factors, 5 key characters of a smart factory. It has to be connected. So it's able to get the data in real time. It is able to disseminate the data to the other users in the real time as well. Second thing is optimize. That means you have a predictable way of knowing whether your uptime is high, whether your machine is working or not working. So you need to have optimized what you call factory floor. Transparent. The data should be available at all times to all the people in the right way. Then proactive. That means it should have the ability to be flexible, to adapt to the changing needs of the customer or of the what you call of the machine requirements. And then agile. So these are 5 key factory parameters. Now if I want to just give you what typically happens in the life of a plant manager. If I assume yourself to be a plant manager, what happens in the day of a life of a plant manager? So you have a factory which is a large factory. You have hundreds of events which are continuously coming. Now you have to process those events, okay, and you have to put those events in the right context. So you have to contextualize those events. Based on those events, you need to make decisions. Whether I should do this, I should do this, I should do this. This might need this plant manager to basically do some simulation. If I do this, what's going to be the impact? If I do this, what's going to be the impact? So he may have to do that simulation of that. Once he does that, he chooses one option. He may want to go and implement that particular thing or execute that particular thing. And then he will have to track the outcomes. When I have taken the decision, what is the outcome of that particular thing, right? So you can imagine when you are talking about a small manufacturing plant, it's fine, but when you're talking about a refinery, when you're talking about a cement plant, when you're talking of any other big manufacturing plant, automotive plant, that becomes a big burden. And this is where the Industry 4.0 technologies are helping this person to basically do his work more efficiently. Right? So, smart factory, if somebody wants to do that, I think more important is that if you want to do the transformation, you have to do it right. That means it has to move, it has to be a progressive transformation. It cannot be that today I have this, tomorrow I have a smart factory. No, it has to go through a transformation, progressive transformation process. And that is where the first step would be to ensure that it is repeatable, right? So when you say repeatable, at that point in time, you have the lean manufacturing process practices which are established well, but the reporting may be still a paper-based reporting. It may be still ad hoc reporting, okay? You may not have, or you may have only partial data governance, right? And then limited or no connectivity. You may have probably some machines which are island of intelligence, or some machines which are not connected because they are old, for example, or they do not provide any connectivity. This is the first stage. From there, you convert that into a transparent. That is, all the information from the machine at every level is available to you. You are able to create a dashboard, and that's what I talked about, plant control tower. You have a dashboard where you can actually go and get the right information, whatever you want. From there to comprehensive performance reporting, not only data, but based on data, how can I compute the performance of my factory floor? Then unified data model and the process parameters which are captured in real time. It's not that I get the data after things have happened. I'm getting the data there and then. From there, now once you have this transparency, then you go to optimize. Now that you have data, now that you have a proper reporting structure, now that you can trust the data which is coming to you, is where you can start optimizing that process. That means you can basically, you have a performance management system, you have key assets and processes which are working in closed loop. That means the feedback system is established, and you probably have a digital twin of the factory floor. So what is digital twin? Digital twin is a simulation or digital, what you call, representation of the factory floor or the machines. It exists in 3 stages. It can be a digital twin of a unit, of a machine, or of a system, for example, a robotic arm along with a conveyor belt and probably something, or of systems of systems. So digital twin exists at 3 levels: unit level, system level, systems of system level.
And here I am talking about full digital twin, that means at a plant level, systems of system level. So that's where you come to optimize, and then comes the autonomous part. That means this is where the assets self-optimize themselves. That is where there is a advisory which is generated by the system, and the system itself takes action on that particular thing. That's where you are going to the light also. So this autonomous is still what you call far-fetched dream, but we are, a lot of factories are almost tending towards those autonomous factories. So what's more important, the three major pillars of reaching there of autonomous factory is connectivity, intelligent automation, and your hyperscale or cloud scale data management. So now I have gone through the process. How do I measure whether I've been successful or not? And that's where some metrics have been put here. Whether the first matrix is adoption of data-driven decision making. Am I making a decision based on my experience of the last 20 years on the shop floor? Is it intuition based, or it is based on data, right? So that is the first measure. So if people want to really see the success of their implementation, then this should be the first parameter that they should be making. Number two is, am I doing a reactive maintenance or the decision making after things have failed, after accidents have happened, after a motor has stopped, or whether I'm trying to move from reactive to preventive to predictive decision making. So the moment I start doing that is a second pillar of my success, second matter of my success. Third is digital process optimization. Am I still working on paper-based measurement, paper-based notification, or have I digitalized the entire process so that I'm getting the perfect data? And am I able to deal with bottlenecks and unplanned production issues in real time? And that's where we talked about the agility and the flexibility of the plant, right? If you are able to you say yes to all these four, that means your what we call transformation is a success. So a lot of times people get stuck into where do I start? And for them it is very difficult to think of a use case. And that's where our methodology is to basically understand the customer's end objective. What are they trying to achieve? Are they trying to improve their bottom line? And improving the bottom line can be again broken up into multiple use cases, like my uptime is higher, my wastage is lower, my line losses are lower, and my what you call operator productivity is higher. I'm able to schedule my what you call the production in a way where problem in one line can be covered in the other line. So this is where we have tried to give some use cases at different, so in plant control tower, at the operations management level, at the intelligent automation level, then workforce efficiency improvement, and all those things. So we have tried to give some use cases for people to start thinking about, yeah, this can be the levers for me to achieve my objectives. So I'm giving some examples here. We have 4,000 customers with whom we continue to work as engineering arm of Capgemini. I'm not talking about the entire Capgemini, I'm talking about only of Capgemini Engineering. We work with 3,500 to 4,000 customers, and I have picked up only a few examples here. The one that you see on the top left of the CPG major, we have implemented, you have seen that IOP or Intelligent Operations Platform that I talked about. We have implemented that, and it's still going on, it's still not complete, where we have rolled out the Microsoft Azure based IOP platform across 70 to 80 factories right now across the globe. And it is going to be rolled out to 300 such plants. That means sitting here in Mumbai or wherever I am, I will be able to access data. I'll be able to see what's happening in my plant. I'll be able to see which plant is having a better productivity, which operator is having better productivity, why there are line losses in this particular line. Everything I can see sitting anywhere. So we are rolling out this data platform across 300 plants across the globe. The next one that you see there is a very interesting case of a tobacco company which basically manufactures cigarettes, and now they are trying to move from tobacco-based products to electronic cigarettes. Now there, we have worked on predictive quality maintenance, quality of the product. And second thing is interesting is how do I reduce the energy consumption? And what it means is they had what we call HVAC. HVAC stands for your heating, ventilation and air conditioning. How can I reduce the energy consumed by plant using AI technologies? Because normally when you take HVAC, I'm sure Blue Star person colleague was here. They are already providing their control systems and everything. We have provided an external AI loop. Okay? And through use of that loop, we are able to control energy better. We have saved 17%, 17% energy for them, which has resulted into, like they have 22 plants. We have implemented only a few plants there. But what we are, now when we do the calculation, it will be almost like $50 to $60 million energy savings per year from 22 plants, if we are able to achieve that 17% in each of the plants. So cool. So that's how the technology is used, already being used for this thing. It is already rolled out to 7 plants. It is being rolled out to 22 plants of the customer. The one that you see on the end, oil and gas major, that's where we have made the XIoT. XIoT is again one of the assets of Capgemini, where irrespective of the communication protocol, you are able to connect to different devices and get the information network. And that's where this is done for one of the plant in Italy. And this is now being rolled out to their own plants which are in US as well. They manufacture the equipment for oil and gas extraction. Okay, so then this is a mining company. This is again very interesting. I talked to you about the connected mines, and here again we are working across the expression and other thing. But more important is we have deployed our own asset. You must have seen in the last slide the predict EAP asset. This asset predicts failure of the machine. Okay. It tells me that this particular machine is going to fail on 14th February 2023. I don't think anybody has built up this system till now who can give you exact date when this particular thing is going to. So it includes the mathematical model of the machine. It includes the physics of failure. It includes the alert and alarm, and based on that, this model is built. We have rolled out this model to the fuel wall. So when you see a mining industry, this truck that you see here, this is a 200 and 250 ton truck. The one that we see in the road is a 10 ton or 12 ton truck. You can imagine this is almost 20 times larger than that truck. Okay, each wheel of this truck is twice my height, almost like 10 to 12 feet height. That kind of asset is there. When this asset goes into a mine, okay, and if it fails there, the cost of retrieval of this asset from the mine is more than the cost of the asset itself. So normally they will leave the asset there. So such large trucks or drilling machines or excavators or shovels are left in the mines itself, because they are not able to remove it. The cost of removal is much higher. So what do? You try to find out what is failing. And a lot of times, because of this dust or sand or temperature, the fuel wall which is there gets choked. So we have deployed this asset in that fuel wall, okay, to tell when this particular thing is going to fail and whether it is able to go into the mine, do the work and come back before it fails. So that's one example. So we have rolled out this particular thing with 12 such assets. So it includes ball mill, it includes conveyor belts, it includes your slush pump, and 12 such assets. And the customer in 2017 gave us an estimate of $200 million saving in 3 years, which after implemented now is almost like $200 million every year. This customer is saying $200 million just because of one asset that we have deployed there across 1,200 equipment which are there in the mining site. This is where you save this is where your Industry 4.0, the technology which exists today, are able to save them. The fourth one which is there in the middle bottom, there is again a very interesting thing. This is a company, consumer goods company, which makes diapers. Okay? And what happens is, in diaper you have those 3 layers. You have the top layer, then you have those soaking material, and then you have bottom layer. And here you have a glue gun, which adds a dot of glue, and then it is pressed so that it's stuck together. Okay? Now, these machines, they run at almost like hundreds of thousands of diapers per minute. Okay? Now, if a single glue gun, hot melt, called hot melt gun, if there gets for example, choked, it can be because the temperature is low of the nozzle, or the density or the viscosity of the material which they have put is higher, or the flow is low, or there can be any number of reasons. And if you get choked, you can imagine that thousands of diapers are flying there, are going through that, and only in the quality control they come to know, oh, this is not stuck. Now, in those countries, in those factories, they do not put them again, you can't. So you have to throw them out. So applying this particular technology on this nozzle tells them that this particular thing is going to fail if you do not take these actions. It's going to fail and you're going to run into loss. This is already deployed for this consumer goods company, and I'm sure that company has a large presence in India. Both the top one and the bottom one here both have large presence in India, and you are using their products already. Okay. Another interesting one that I have thousands of such stories which I can continue discussing about, right? But another one which is there is not a manufacturing factory, but they are the poultry production company. Okay, so they supply eggs, and if you see the number, they supply some 170 million or 180 million eggs per year to different countries in Europe and other places. Now, when they supply this egg, they need to, and they get eggs in thousands and millions from the farmers and other places. They need to ensure the quality of the egg is proper. That means there are no cracks, there are no visible impurities in the eggs. Okay, so there are definition of impurity in the egg, which you and I may not know. We just keep on eating the eggs when somebody supplies it, right? We don't pay attention to that. So this is where there's a machine. I could have put the video there, but because the whole thing would have gone very long, so I have removed the video here. But here, the eggs, when they pass through the tray, it keeps on taking the X-ray of the eggs, and these X-ray are, there's a algorithm which detects whether this is good egg or a bad egg, and then it automatically gets sorted out if it is bad egg, and good eggs go into the package. So this machine takes 36 images per egg. 36 images, you can imagine, the egg is so small, and you're taking 36 images of that egg, and you are moving through 207,000 eggs per hour. So if you put a human being there to pick up an egg, look at it, and do the work, it may take 4 or 5 minutes for him to, or 2 minutes for him to detect whether there's some fault or some cracks on the eggs or the thing, and it will be too tedious, which can impact your worker health. And that's why this machinery is now aiding that. When we talked about empowered worker, this is where the empowered worker is comes into picture. So I put one video about the XIoT implementation. This is oil and gas major Baker Hughes.
So BEHGE was created in July 2017 by combining two companies, GE Oil and Gas and Baker Hughes. It is the world's first and only full stream provider of integrated product, services, and digital solution in the oil and gas market. The oil and gas market over the last few years has gone through a significant transformation that forced both our customer and us to take a close look at the cost of doing business, and also with a specific focus of how we really improve drastically productivity and efficiency in everything that we do. So we believe that the digital transformation was a key enabler to achieve this target, and this was really the time when we start understanding the need of having an industrial IoT solution for our manufacturing shop floor, and also the need to have a manufacturing execution system leader to help us develop it.
Capgemini was a perfect partner for this project. In fact, they were able to link their history and their knowledge, deep knowledge about manufacturing digital process and solution with their collaborative approach. So we were able to get a single team, and we completely review the information flow, linking the data coming from the machines with the people.
We need to connect the information technology side with the operational technology side in a unified model and deploy this with a unique operating model throughout all the plants in the world.
In the fourth industrial revolution, data is the
R framework. So 6R includes reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, redesign, and remanufacture. So the lean manufacture focus on reduce, only one aspect of sustainability. Green manufacturing combine two more, so reduce, reuse, and recycle. And now what you call your sustainable manufacturing is including all 6 R's of manufacturing. So if you look at the sustainable life cycle, how what you call across the value chain on manufacturing, this can be applied. For example, right from sourcing, where you can substitute your oil-based what you call raw material with a natural organic material, or shifting to low carbon raw material. Ask your suppliers to comply towards green materials, for example, in sourcing. Going to R&D, where you are ensuring that during the conceptualization of your product, during the R&D stage itself, you are considering your carbon accounting and low carbon products for that matter. Product development and engineering, again incorporating green design. For example, I don't know how many of you have heard about green coding. So when we work in the IT company, there's something known as green coding. How can you code in a way which is optimized for the processes that you are using? Or so today, because of these standard libraries being available, people just do not look at code optimization, just keep on dumping the code. So how can you look at green coding? How can you optimize the coding so that there is less energy consumed by the processors which are going to process this data? So even that is being discussed. Then you're changing your what you call producers and technology to minimize to reach zero landfill usage. So once you consume a thing, every 6 months you are getting a new phone. Now what happens to your old phone? Ultimately it goes into landfill. How can you do something where either you can reuse or you can repurpose that particular thing so it doesn't go to land use, you can still use it into your new product development. So that's where various stages of the life cycle, there are options available. There are opportunities available for us to improve our manufacturing. And so for achieving our sustainability goals, we have to invest in technology and data-driven and innovation to ensure that the sustainability goes hand in hand with profitability. That actually means that your teams which are there, business teams, so now today every organization has somebody nominated as a sustainability executive. Okay? Now, these executives has to work with business team to ensure that how can they bring the synergies between the performance and the goals that they have put. They have to make a joint agenda. They cannot work in silos. Okay? Then incorporate the sustainable ways of working in the operating culture. Now here, sir, I see these plastic bottles. If you come to Capgemini office, you will not see plastic bottle at all, whether it is our own delegates or it is our customer delegates. We very clearly say that all the Capgemini campuses are no plastic campus. So we all have glass bottles only. In fact, to basically encourage people to do away with their plastic bottles, company distributed steel bottles to each and every employee for that matter. Even when we do gifting to our own employees or to our guests, all the gifts that we give are sustainable gifts. Again, no plastic use. So that's how we have to incorporate that sustainable ways of working, get that culture. Then work with customer and supplier to reduce the indirect emission. So I may be doing direct, I may be restricting my own use, but when I get my product from a supplier, from the sources, are they using what you call, they say can we reduce their emissions as well? Can I ask them to give me green product only? I think that's where we have to go on that. And then build transparency through effective reporting. So I may report large numbers, but actually on the ground I'm not doing anything. So how can I build a transparency that whatever I'm saying can be tracked to the last, ton of carbon that I'm emitting here. In fact, Capgemini has taken a pledge to reduce carbon for themselves and for their customers as well. We have planted 1 million trees in the year 2019 and 2020 to actually do a carbon, reduction of carbon basically. So if you look at technology is playing a key role, and here you can see which are technologies which are playing key roles in sustainability. So smart grid, disposable recycling and breaking down of toxic, systematic energy efficiency programs. So all these are being run. Most important is that while you see globally the percent of organizations which are focusing on technology as a key focus, is large. India has a small this thing. But if you look at the actual implementation, Indian companies, Indian organizations are much ahead of their global peers. So sustainability in Indian context, there are, I have already discussed about, so I will not go again on this long-term low emission, what you call this thing, submitted by government of India. But more important is the key factors of sustainable manufacturing are your sustainable product design and innovation, sustainable sourcing, your innovation in your processes, and then responsible waste disposal. So these are the four major tactics. Last 2 minutes here on what you call as a corporate citizen, Capgemini has made a commitment to be carbon neutral by what you call for own operations, not for supply operations, but own operations by 2025, and across our supply chain by all suppliers by 2030. And we will help our client to save 10 million tons of carbon by 2030. We have our own what you call captive solar energy generation capacity of 11 megawatt peak. 11 megawatt power is this suffice to 30% of our energy needs for Capgemini right now. So we have built an energy command center first in India. We have built an energy command center where we have what you call all the offices across 6 cities are connected to this particular thing, and 7,000 sensors and 5,000 utility equipment which are connected to this particular energy command center. We are now connecting also our centers from France, Toulouse into this, and so this is going to be a global command center for energy consumption. And this has actually resulted into 20% reduction cost for only for us, operation improvement and all those things, and carbon reduction. So a video on that.
Technology and infrastructure are fueled by energy, leading to progress, but on the downside, leaving a trail of carbon footprints. Energy is the feed for every business enterprise, and consuming it wisely is what makes a difference.
This can be implemented for all your campuses as well. You have multiple buildings, multiple campuses. This can be implemented for your
Presenting Capgemini's first Energy Command Center at our Bengaluru office. It's a state-of-the-art facility built on an IoT-based architecture for intuitive resource management that positively impacts operations through efficient energy consumption. A virtual network across our pan-India premises enables the Energy Command Center to monitor all our building assets such as chillers, air handling units, data center UPS systems, street lights, office area lighting, rooftop solar system, VRF systems, EV chargers, diesel generator, and sewage treatment plant. Any actions to be taken out of the monitoring of assets are communicated to the respective offices, and appropriate measures are taken by the city offices to fix the issue. A unique feature of ECC is the alarm displayed through a screen 24/7. The equipment design parameters and key performance indicators are used as yardsticks to sound alarms, ensuring optimum operating efficiency throughout their lifetime. The process includes command generating from equipment, sensor, controller, IoT, and reaching ECC. The ECC aims at striking a balance between resource supply and demand of our energy through our assets. 24/7 real-time monitoring alerts on potential resource wastage and areas of improvement for faster action. Sounding alarms in case of defunct or...
So you have seen how we are already not only talking about okay, you have seen that we are not only preaching about how this technology can be leveraged across the plants, across the buildings, but we are also practicing it ourselves, saving tons of carbon footprint for our organization. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you for igniting the minds. I missed some part of your presentation, but I'm sure that all the audience have really, really enjoyed the precious inputs, and we will have many more such kind of presentations in coming future. Many more associations with top brand Capgemini. And Capgemini is going to be one of the big recruiter of SPC. Thank you.